guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. I hope you guys are having a great day, and welcome to the first of hopefully many pack review. Ow, I hit my knee. Now, this actually idea is not from me, it's actually from Frenzy Gamer. I'm gonna put his channel in the description, also with his pack review of the Sinbad pack if you want to look at it, my man. I got very lucky. I got the permanent mount, and I got all three wands that I'm aware that you can get. I think those are the only three that you can get. I got all three of them from that one pack. So basically, I was definitely one of the very lucky people when it comes to this. I also think that that mount is an absolute game changer. So, you know, I was really happy with everything. I do have a lot of opinions about this pack. Now, this isn't going to be a completely, King's I can do no wrong kind of review, and it's also not going to be a super pessimistic review. What I believe is that, like all things, there's good and there's bad. But the reason why I'm making this video, specifically about the Sinbad pack, if you guys don't know, it was released just a few days ago. I think this is probably the least pay-to-win pack that we've ever gotten in the history of King's Isle. I have problems with it, but I also don't have as much as I would have if it had been handled very differently. Let's get right into it, my man. Let's start with what I love with the pack, and then we'll go off to what I think sucks about the pack. I think what I really love about this pack is, one, even though there is a Maycast on the wand, what it's intended to be is a no PvP Maycast. That's a really good step. Now, I will say, at the time of making this video, as you might have seen on the channel already, that is just not the case. This does still work in PvP. I'm sure they're gonna fix that. That being said, at the moment, you know, that's just how it is. But that's a really good thing. It's not a broken Maycast on a wand for once. And that's a really huge step for King's Isle, in my opinion. At least they're not making pay-to-win Maycasts a bigger and bigger reality in the game. If at all you ever have a doubt whether some spell is going to affect PvP or not as a Maycast, my go-to, and like in my honest opinion, it would be either nerf it before you even second guess yourself, or just do what you did with this and make it no PvP. I think that's a really good idea. I definitely recommend that. And that's just one of the few things already that I really like about this pack. Another thing that I noticed about this pack that, again, makes it very different from other packs, and I'm glad that they're doing this. They did a Crowns Reward event where, and I've never seen them do this before, where every 10 packs you buy, you actually get a free pack. Now, again, I know that doesn't sound like anything too crazy. Oh, wow, cool. Now, instead of 10 packs costing $39.90 crowns, oh, wow, 11 packs cost about $39.90. It is something that I believe is really important going forward. You want to make packs less and less demanding. Now, the third thing that I really like is that there are alternative ways to make it so that this pack is not a complete gamble. And this is the really important point that I hope people really get out of this video. Right now, there are three ways to get the gear from the pack. And that's never the truth before. Before, if you open the packs and you don't have good luck, that is it. It is game over. Not with this pack, and I will show you guys why this pack is so different from other packs. Along with this pack, they released a gauntlet, and not only is a gauntlet really well done, I made a video on this, and you know, I think it was actually just an enjoyable gauntlet. Definitely, you know, a nice little extra area that I hope they actually just put out every now and then anyways, maybe with drops similar to this. But not only is that thing buyable as, like, you know, for a $40 thing basically on the website, you can also craft it essentially from the reagents that you get from the pack itself. So if you open tons and tons of packs, you get a bunch of this magical clay, and once you get a lot of magical, and you get a lot of marvelous and magnificent clay also, like, you can get any of it, right? You can basically just craft the gauntlet that you want for yourself. Now, from my personal experience, after opening about 20,000 crowns worth of packs, I was about halfway to crafting it. Now, if you do the math out and you buy the 60k crowns pack at a sale for, like, you know, 1,000 crowns per dollar, then you would actually see that technically a $40 bundle for something that you can craft for free in this game for essentially around $40, it's actually pretty evenly balanced. At the end of the day, there's still RNG when it comes to how the packs work in terms of giving reagents, but I'm not really going to complain about that much because this is a direction. And that's something we all need to keep in mind. The fact that there's almost like a token system for this pack. Essentially the fact that after you open up a lot of packs, you essentially just get something that rewards you. What I really want in a token system though is something a little bit more reliable. Maybe every 10 packs you get that magnificent clay or something that you need. Instead of the crowns reward, maybe you just get a bunch of those reagents, and space it out so that maybe after you buy like 50 to 100 packs, you can guaranteed be able to craft this thing. Now, I don't know the exact number of packs you need to buy to be able to guarantee craft a gauntlet, but the reason why I think that guarantee is really important is because then no one can make the argument that packs are a gamble anymore. Right now, with the way the Sinbad pack is, it's much less of a gamble than any other pack. If you open up a lot of the packs, what you're going to end up doing is just crafting the gauntlet. And if I didn't mention it already, the gauntlet drops everything that you can already get in the pack. So that's a really big deal. The fact that there is technically an alternative, and if one of your friends happens to have $40 lying around, there's a free-to-play way for you to get the stuff in the pack just by farming with them. Those are all very good things. Now that we've talked about what I think is really, really good, there are things that I feel are not so good, and we really do have to talk about it because I feel like if we don't talk about it, then unfortunately, it's these things that I don't like are probably going to continue, and I still view it as a problem. I think what they're doing with the pack this time around, especially when it comes to the gear, is that it's a bit of a power creep. Now, here's the thing. If you can find someone with a gauntlet, technically you have nothing to complain about because you could always get the wands, you could always get the mount, you can get everything in the pack from what I've seen. Shoes, robes, hat, you can get everything for free, technically. Or if you open up a bunch of packs and you don't get it, you can craft the gauntlet and literally farm it yourself. It's a soloable dungeon. You could grind it out. There is an alternative way to get what you want. And on the topic of the actual gear itself, I think I have a problem with both the wand and the mount especially. Let's start off with why I'm not really sure I like the wand. Now, if you look at the wand right now, like beyond the fact that the Maycast is actually not no PvP like it's advertised, which they should really fix, if you compare it to the crafted 125 wands, which are very meta in PvP right now, what you'll notice is that they literally made it slightly better, but where they really went a lot higher is with the crit. So what you're gonna want when you're like trying to get this is you're gonna want to replace something that's very, very hard to craft because you want to have the best stats. I went from gear that basically gave me 523 crit, which is 35%, and I took that all the way up to 46%. Now that's a huge, huge difference. And my issue right now with this wand is that it doesn't really add anything unique to the game. All it does is slightly buff up what we already have. I don't think Crown's gear should do that. I don't think Crown's gear should be a slight upgrade from things that we have. What it really should be is that it's slightly different from things that we have. Not necessarily better, but it opens a door for new strategies that aren't the exact same as what we've had. What this opens a door for is the exact same strategy that you had with the Ionis focused sword, for example, for Storm, except now you have critical RNG being a little bit more in your favor. And that direction isn't good because it's essentially just baiting the hardcore players who always want the best stats to keep buying, but what it really does is kind of unbalance the game for people who are like, alright, I guess I'll settle because this is not technically that much worse, but because you're free to play, you're kind of being punished for it. I wouldn't have had a problem if the damage on these wands were a little lower in exchange for the crit increase. I know the Pierce is a little bit lower, but for some schools like Ice, this is definitively a better wand than the crafted wand, and for that reason, I don't like it that much. Again, this isn't the worst, most egregious overstep in my opinion. Again, I think, as you guys might notice, my review on this pack is going to be more positive than negative. I do think they gotta avoid that, and I'd love to hear comments on how you guys think the powering on this wand is. Now, the real issue, let's get right into it, my man. The real issue is this. This is called a power creep, because while this horde pack gives a 3% pip chance, mount, the Witch's horde pack gave a 2% pip chance mount. So basically what they did is they took out one horde pack that a lot of people had probably bought to get the pip chance mount in the past, and then they added another one that's slightly better. Again, this is not a good practice, especially when it comes to things as rare as mounts. I was very, very lucky to get it, but I can tell you right now that the 3% chance essentially lets me have perfect stats on every wizard. in a way that I've never been able to have. So not only is this pretty pay to win as a mount, because of the rarity of it and the fact that it keeps getting slightly better, what it opens up the door for is for them to keep on putting out mounts that are slightly better than the previous mounts. And the problem with that is, yes, it drives sales, but eventually it's going to unbalance PvP. I don't want a 3-pierce mount. I don't want a 4-pierce mount to do in the next pack so that it can, you know, basically drive sales for the next one. I don't want a 5 damage mount on the next pack so that more people buy that. I don't want a 10 healing. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's only going to escalate, however, gradually. And the problem is, either, and I don't really want mount stats not to be in PvP because I think it's a really cool concept and it's a really cool way to customize your stats. There has to be a way to craft these, and maybe, you know, crafting these could involve the magical clay reagent or something like that. I do think the gauntlet is a great idea, but whenever some pack has a really rare item, like just one rare item, like a mount, that should also be craftable from the magical clay or whatever other exclusive pack reagents that they have in that pack. So overall, I'm gonna give this pack 8 wizards out of 10. It has an easy and very manageable way to get gear without having to spend money just by knowing someone. You could technically go to houses with this gauntlet once you find one with a group of friends, and I feel like if you know the owner or if you can have someone go with you, like I think you need the owner to go with you, but if you know that person, you can get everything here for free. The only reason it's not a perfect 10 out of 10 on this pack is because the mount is extremely rare and there isn't really a non-pay-to-win way to get it, because I know they would have made the mounts a much harder drop rate than the wands from the dungeons. There's that, and the fact that I feel like there's a little bit of power creeping happening, and it's gonna drive sales, and I'm always a fan of that, but you can't do it in a way that it unbalances PvP more and more and sets a precedent for ruining PvP in the long run. I would love to hear y'all's opinions on this pack review, my mans, but that's my full breakdown of everything. I'm definitely going to be trying out this wand. I'm definitely going to be trying out this mount. You know, even if it is very overpowered in my opinion compared to what used to exist, that's not going to stop me from just testing it out. So I hope you guys enjoy that content. We'll see. Maybe it'll change the way I PvP completely, or maybe the fall update will bring better gear anyways, and this won't really matter in the long run. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of the gear in the pack. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. There's tons of links in the description, including my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, and my Instagram. And if somebody has not told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome, brother. And yeah.